Oh, good morning, my Teaserking. How's everybody today? Let's see what we will talk about today. Um, we had a bank problem with First Republic. Funny is, I looked at it. It's a San Francisco bank, and we know all the problems with California and the Silicon Valley kids and all the problems out there. So now I'm beginning to wonder if this isn't planned. First, you had Silicon Valley Bank, and now you have First Republic, a San Francisco bank. So all of a sudden, these banks, Frisco banks, are having problems. I smell a rat. I mean, that's ridiculous. All these banks having problems. And then who takes over? JP Morgan. Motherfucker. So he buys all the assets, and off he goes. Now, they'll all be worthless anyway unless he buys gold with them. But just, again, me being me, noticing what nobody else is noticing. Wait a minute, there's San Francisco Bank, Silicon Valley's San Francisco Bank, and these are all going, and they're trying to scare people to get out. What they're not anticipating is that the people will go out and go into gold and silver. That's what they're not counting on. They're counting on people to go into the stock market, I assume, or to just change to JP Bank. As Bobby said yesterday, well, is my safe there? Money's not going to be safe, period. This money, right? This money is not safe because it's blown up, right? Nobody wants it. So that's your first problem with fiat currency. Your gold and silver is safe as can be. So that's really what you want to do. Is it doesn't matter what bank has the money itself is going to be the problem. So please keep that in mind. It's like chocolate. Well, I got this chocolate over that chocolate, and they're buying this chocolate company. At the end of the day, the chocolate's the problem, the sugar. So be careful with that. Again, notice how it's spaced out. Notice how it happens on a Monday. San Francisco is the one over the weekend that closed the bank. And JP Morgan comes in and says, oh, we'll take the assets. We've got the money. Because we print it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So that's really the question then. What do these bank closures mean? Well, in our world, it doesn't mean a whole lot because we're not in the banks. Right. So if we're out of the banks, we don't really give a fuck because we're in gold and silver. If all the banks fail, we're in gold and silver. It doesn't matter. Will they all fail? No, that's impossible. Some will. Again, they're trying to scare you into accepting digital currency because nobody wants it. It's being tested in Europe. Nobody wants it there. Then they're trying to do limits on it. I was watching something yesterday, but it's too revolting to actually watch it. But that's what happens, right? They get into it. And the only way government works is to scare you. 9/11, what else? Like wearing a seatbelt takes your liberties. We're smart. If we want to wear a seatbelt, we'll wear a seatbelt. If we don't want to, we don't ever want to give up our freedom. It says we can smoke or secondhand smoke or not smoke, but we don't want to be told we can't smoke. I don't know. I don't smoke, but for the smokers, they shouldn't be told where they can smoke. They come out with this, secondhand smoke causes cancer. Really? How does that happen? If you're not smoking, you're not going to get cancer from secondhand smoke. And then make up some phony thing like Fauci did with the COVID. Not real. He makes it up. They developed it. They unleashed it. And I love when I hear that. And then people go, my cousin died of COVID. Really? Did he die of COVID or did he die of something else? And they said it was COVID. Just like Ohio State quarterbacks, right? I named you since 2000, all the quarterbacks at Ohio State, none of them did anything in the pros. Why would this guy do anything in the pros? He's exactly like Braxton Miller and TJ Barrett and Caldwell Jones and all these guys, they're exactly the same fields. They're not prepared to be a pro quarterback. It's just the way it is. I'm not against Ohio State quarterbacks. I wish they were good NFL quarterbacks, but they're not. And to say, well, I don't believe in it, well, okay, I gave you proof. The only one you can name that's done anything besides Tom Brady was our running back was Mike Tomczak. That's it. You have one quarterback in the 80s on the Bears, or in the 1990s on the Bears, who did anything. That's it. You've had one quarterback. And he was just Joe Average. But see, this is the problem. So people go, well, it's not because they went to Ohio State. Yeah, it is, because that's how they learn it. And if you notice, Joe Burrow went to LSU and became superstar. Where was that at Ohio State? Why would the Ohio State let him go? Because they don't run that offense. That's why they let him go, because they needed the fast guy who can run, the option. And that's, it's like Rick Leach at Michigan in the 70s, right? He's not a pro quarterback. He couldn't complete 5 passes in a game. But he was good for the offense, right? He ran the option offense where he would be able to run the ball and deal it off and do the option and complete some passes. So he was very good for Michigan. And I just watched them beat Joe Montana in the 78 Notre Dame game. I couldn't believe it. But that's what he was. But in the pros, it would have been a joke. It's like Tim Tebow. He was great at Florida, but you get him in the pros and he couldn't do anything, right? He was a terrible quarterback because he couldn't throw. And that's what you have with a lot of these guys. They're not quarterbacks. They're athletes. They can run. And I'm not saying they're not athletes. I'm not saying they can't run. But I'm saying to win, you need a quarterback who can throw the ball to the receivers. You got Jerry Rice and John Taylor. Who do you want throwing to them? You don't want Steve Young throwing them. You want Joe Montana throwing them. You want the quarterback who can get it to them inside and let them run 80 yards for a touchdown. Like in the Super Bowl, John Stallworth's 1979, twice, 2 long passes. That's what you want. You don't want a running quarterback who can't complete it to him. That's the point. So, Baltimore, I feel sorry for you. 5 more years of losing with Lamar Jackson. So good luck. You can't win with them, and you're stuck with them. All right. So not good. Now here's one I got in my email. Bet undefeated. I go, what the hell is that? It says selected weekly pass. Must profit or 1 month free. Are you teaching how to money manage? Are you teaching, you're just going to give me picks? Are they going to be the same? I don't know. I kept it on to show you guys that this is bullshit. So I'm going to delete it now because I don't want anything to do with something so stupid. Let's go look at gold first of all. How's our gold price doing? Silver's $24.91. Silver was up to 25 something, 25.50 today. And gold, the 10 o'clock drop. There's the 10 o'clock drop. It's still dropping, and it's at 1981, but it was at 2004. Funny how at 9:30 it's at 2004, and by 10 o'clock it's down to 1981. But there's no price fixing going on. See, this is what they want you to not go into gold and silver. Look, it doesn't go anywhere. So the psychology of these JP Morgans, oh no, stay in this. Yeah, I know it's at the Titanic, but stay in it. I know it's collapsing, but stay in it. Because we want everybody to lose all their money, some say. I don't know if that's what they really think, and they really think we're that stupid, and after we lose all our money, then you're going to control us. Like, really? You're going to try to control us? Who has this thought? Oh, George Soros, the Nazi. Ah, yes, I recollect. I mean, to say that's part of a plan and that you think it could actually work is unbelievable. And why? Why do you want to control us? What are you gonna, how are you going to control us? I mean, you're going to put us in concentration camps and ovens, and we're going to reenact Nazi Germany, World War II. Is that really what we're trying to do here? Is kill us for what? The sport? Or we're not purebreds. We're not like Harry Potter. We're Hermione. We're not Malfoy. We're not the purebred. I always love it how they think the purebred's better. So, with that said, if that's their plan, good luck to them. I don't think it can work here, and I don't think J.P. Morgan wants to give up printing this, and therefore, there's no way they'll allow a digital currency, and there's no way we're going to allow a digital currency. Now, again, there's not enough information. Is it going to be like Bitcoin, where there's a choice? I don't have Bitcoin. I don't want Bitcoin. I don't want to lose my money in Bitcoin. I'm going to have my money in gold and silver. So that's really what it boils down to, is what's going on with it. And it's hard to say what their actual motives are and everything, but we're not going to just sit there and do it. So will we have an option? I don't know. I want money, and I'm going to stay in gold and silver. I don't want digital currency. Is that going to be an option? I believe it is. I believe if you're on food stamps, I think it's a poor thing. If you're on food stamps, you're collecting unemployment or Social Security, you're going to get paid in digital currency. Now, if you're working or if you're retired and you have gold and silver, I still think this currency will be, well, this will be gone, but there'll be a replacement medium of exchange that will take over. I don't know how they cannot do that, because what am I going to use to go out to dinner or go to the grocery store? I mean, I got to do that. Then I see Europe trying to restrict the value of it, and I'm like, well, you can only get 700 out or 900 out. Well, 900 or what? I mean, what are you going to price things at? Right? So this it's such a long phase that they haven't thought of, that it just, I don't know. I mean, the dollar's not going to stay the same. It's not going to be $5 for Wendy's. I mean, it's going to, because the dollar's losing value. It's going to cost $50 for a Wendy's, but they won't be able to charge it because people won't pay it. All right, so let's go to, so that's gold, 24.90 silver, 1981. Again, fantasy price to look at this time of day. Of course, it's down because of the price fixing. So let's look at what I want to see. Is, well, is the Dow is a bigger, up 100. Okay, good. Yeah, buy that'll do you good. Let's go into NFL free agents. '23. I don't want available. I want where they move. So let's see if I got it. So let's see. So we know Lamar Jackson is Baltimore. Derek Carr, I thought he went somewhere. Fellows, I want to see where they went. I don't want to see they're there, so I might have to find a different. Come on, fellas. Now, this isn't helpful. Here we go. This is better. Spot track. NFL free agents. So let's see. Derek Carr went from Las Vegas to New Orleans. Here's the rub, but they just drafted my man Hayner. They drafted Hayner from Fresno State, so they get Derek Carr, who went to Fresno State, and Garoppolo, and I think they draft back, but they're not going to do anything with Garoppolo. Tyler Henneke went from Washington to Atlanta. Oh, and I guess they think that they didn't need a quarterback. That's why they drafted the running back, Taylor Henneke. He stinks. Okay. Andy Dalton went from New Orleans to Carolina. Okay. He's better than this Alabama guy. So he'll probably start. And that's it. Jarrett Stidham, Auburn, went from Las Vegas to Denver. Well, they got Russell Wilson. I don't see he's just a backup. Jacoby Brissett went from Cleveland to Washington. Probably be their starter. He's average quarterback, nothing great. Mike White went from the Jets to Miami. He's strictly a backup. Case Keenum went from Buffalo to Houston. He'll be starting. He's much better than C.J. Stroud, Ohio State here. So not that Houston's not going to be any better, but he's better than C.J. Stroud. Cooper Rush went from Dallas to Dallas. So what was the point of that? Marcus Mariota went from Atlanta to Philadelphia strictly as a backup. So who's Atlanta's quarterback now? It's Tyler Henneke. See, now I got to go to the GM. Like, what the fuck? You think this is your answer? Tyler Henneke, he's your quarterback. You're not going to draft one, and you made that decision. Okay. Good luck, Atlanta. Marcus Mariota goes to Philadelphia as the backup. If Philly has to play him, they're in big trouble. Brian Hoyer, New England to Las Vegas to Oakland. Brian Hoyer, I didn't know he's still in the league. He's terrible. Sam Darnold, Carolina to San Francisco is an emergency player. Is it? They still need whatchamacallit. Who's our guy? Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's much better than Sam Darnold. Maybe he can win a few games for Frisco, but not a lot. Philip Walker, quarterback, Carolina to Chicago. What's the point of that? Drew Lock goes from Seattle to Seattle. He stinks. The Baker. Here we go. From the Rams to Tampa. So they're going to use this guy instead of Trask. Big mistake. Maybe for a few games, and then Trask will take over. He should. Nick Mullins from Minnesota to Minnesota. Gardner Minshew from Philadelphia to Indy. So this is going to be Indy's starter, Gardner Minshew, until Richardson never will play. So Minshew is their quarterback. He's terrible. Nate Sudfeld from Detroit to Detroit. Now he's gone with the addition of Hooker. Blaine Gabbert. I can't believe this idiot's still in the league from Tampa to KC. He'll never see the field. Nathan Peterman, probably the worst quarterback ever to play from Chicago to Chicago, and that tells you a lot right there. David Blau, Arizona to Arizona. Okay, wonderful. Kyle Allen from Houston to Buffalo. Jeff Driscoll from Houston to Arizona. So Houston's getting ready for their big quarterback. And Trace McSorley from Arizona to New England. He could be your starter. He's very good. Although you've got Zappe, so I still don't understand why they won't use Zappies. Available players, Carson Wentz. As of now, we don't know. So Carson Wentz to be determined, Matt Ryan to be determined, Tom Brady, Teddy Bridge, Mason Rudolph, Joe Flacco, Chase Daniel. Chase Daniel's been in the league like 20 years, mostly with New Orleans. Trevor Siemian, Brendan Allen, Josh Johnson. Oh, he sucked on Frisco. Brett Rippon, John Wolford, and Bryce Perkins. Okay. Trending players. Who gives a fuck? What do we got? There's this. So we know Latavius Murray is still with Buffalo, I guess, or he hasn't signed a contract yet. 34 years old. Career earnings, was it bowling? Career earnings, Mark Ross won $1 million. This guy was on Oakland, Minnie, New Orleans, Denver, and he's won $20 million on the PBA Tour. All right, so what are you telling me here? Jordan Love, he sucks. Lamar signed with Baltimore. Taylor Lewan, I don't know. Shaquille Barrett, offensive lineman, I guess he hasn't signed. 2023 free agents. All right, so we talk quarterbacks. Derek Carr got $150 million for 4 years. Really? So Oakland lets him go, goes to New Orleans, gets $150 million. Yeah, he must really miss Oakland. And Oakland has who? They got the guy from San Francisco. Garoppolo is not better than Carr, and neither of them are any good anyway. A right tackle from Frisco went to Denver. A defensive tackle went from Philly to Frisco. A right tackle went from Jacksonville to KC. Garoppolo goes to Oakland. He never plays anyway. He's always injured. Tremaine Edmonds from Buffalo to Chicago. Orlando Brown from KC to Cincinnati. Ooh, that's a big help for Cincinnati if he's any good. Safety Bates from Cincinnati to Atlanta. And that's why they did such a nice job replacing their guys in the draft, Cincinnati. Delvin Tomlinson, defensive tackle, goes to Cleveland. Jamal Dean, cornerback, goes from Tampa to Tampa. Draymond Jones, defensive end from Denver to Seattle. Okay, so Seattle's out. Seattle's gonna be right up with them. They might win the NFC because they got the best coach. And now they're adding a lot of defense. Ben Powers, a guard from Baltimore to Denver. That's Sean Payton's work. Zach Allen, defensive end, Arizona to Denver. Look at Denver, man. They're going to beat KC in that West. Lazard goes from Green Bay to the Jets. Who's at the Jets? There you go. Aaron Rodgers. He gets Lazard. O'Kirky, linebacker from Indy to the Giants. Who cares? Bradbury, cornerback from Philly to Philly. All right. Ometa, defensive tackle, New Orleans to Atlanta. Right tackle from Atlanta to Atlanta. I love it. Jacoby Myers, wide receiver who sucked at New England, goes to Oakland. What a stupid pickup for Oakland. $33 million you're paying this loser? Wow. Cameron Sutton, cornerback from Pitt to Detroit. That's a lot of money. 3 years, $33 million. Not like Detroit to pay. Nate Davis, guard from Tennessee to Chicago. Dillard, tackle, Philly to Tennessee. Buglia, defensive end from Pitt to Pitt. Smith-Schuster from KC goes to New England. Good luck, New England, but you still, unless you play Zappy, you don't have a quarterback. Thielen goes to Minnesota to Carolina, and so he's going to join that other quarterback. Miles Sanders from Philly to Carolina, the running back. Look at Carolina. They're trying to make a move to win 8 games. Samola, guard from Philly to Pitt. Abukum, a defense, go to Indy. Wiley goes from KC to Washington, an offensive tackle. Matt Gay, kicker from the Rams to Indy. Yeah, Indy, you need more than kickers. Von Bell, a shortstop from Cincinnati to Carolina. McGovern, a guard from Dallas to Buffalo. Hayden Hurst, or Hunter Hurst Helmsley, we'll call him, tight end from Cincinnati to Carolina. Trey Pipkins, tackle from San Diego to San Diego. Thornhill, from Donovan Wilson, safety from Dallas to Dallas. Key, linebacker from Jacksonville to Tennessee. Tennessee needs a lot more than that. Marcus Walker from Tennessee to Chicago. Josh Oliver from Baltimore to Minnesota. Baltimore to tight end. I don't know, Minnesota, you got a lot more problems. Like, you need a quarterback. Jermaine Pratt, linebacker from Cincy to Cincy. TJ Edwards, linebacker from State to Chicago. The Bears are picking up a lot because they don't have anything. So the problem's going to be cohesiveness, playing as a group, playing together. They're all different. Way too many guys. You got to draft these guys. Free agent TJ Edwards from Philly to Chicago. He's quickly replaced by Georgia linebackers. Shai Tuttle, defensive tackle, New Orleans, goes to Carolina. Jonathan Jones from a cornerback from Flint to New England. Okama, defensive end from Houston to Cleveland. Alex Analozi from Detroit to Detroit. Holcomb from Washington to Pitt, a linebacker. Montgomery from Chicago to Detroit. You had the running back. Why would you get rid of him for this guy? Now, I like Montgomery from Iowa State, but I don't know what the hell you're doing. Alex Singleton, linebacker from Denver to Denver. I'm not going to, these guys that go on the same team. What the fuck? Byron Murphy, cornerback from Arizona to Minnesota. You still need a quarterback, Minnesota. Jake Brendel from Frisco to Frisco. Nick Gates, guard, Giants to Washington. Who cares? Omla Hula, defensive end from Frisco to KC. Maybe that helps. Bradbury, center. No. Robert Woods, wide receiver from Tennessee to Houston. He sucks anyway. Another USC wide receiver who sucks. There's so many of them. Beckham, wide receiver from LA to Baltimore. Guy gets $15 million to catch one ball one-handed and not show up the rest of the time. Unbelievable. Shepard, defensive end, goes from the Jets to New Orleans. Look out for New Orleans. They're going to win that Central or East or South, whatever the hell it is. Kelsey from Philly to Philly. What's the point? Tyler Henneke, Washington to Atlanta. Patrick Peterson, Honey Badger. No, that's the other guy. Patrick Peterson from LSU, Bobby. Cornerback, goes from Minnesota to Pitt. Yeah, he's 32 years old. That'll help Pitt. Eric Kendricks, linebacker from Minnesota to San Diego. He's 31. That's a little old, but San Diego got a lot better with the draft. Jimmy Ward, free safety from Frisco to Houston. Davenport, defensive end, New Orleans to Minnesota. Saunders, defensive tackle from KC to New Orleans. Let's just look for anybody. Nick Scott, brings to Cincinnati, a safety. Jamal Williams, running back, goes from Detroit to New Orleans. Look out for New Orleans this year. They got the quarterback. They got two quarterbacks. Now that they have the coach, they picked up some defense. Here's a good running back. Let's see if Kamara, that's the wrestler. Let's see if he went anywhere. Let's see. Let's see. Fletcher Cox went from Philadelphia to Philadelphia. What the fuck? Andy Dalton went from New Orleans to Carolina. So I guess Andy will be the starter and probably play the whole year. Kazir White went to Arizona. Who cares? Stidham we talked about. So he's backing up Russell Wilson. Jabril Peppers went back to Michigan. He went from New England back to Michigan. Let's see. Brissett goes to Washington. Who cares? Van Der Esch went from Dallas to Dallas. Mike White goes to Miami. So when Tagliavua gets concussion, they'll have a quarterback. Sammy Perrine went from Cincy to Denver, but so that helps Denver. Look at Denver, man. This is going to be Cincinnati, Denver, and maybe San Diego in that AFC. Whew, it's going to be tough. We'll see what the Jets do. Madison, no, he went from Minnesota to Minnesota. What the fuck are you doing to me? Let's see. Dalton Schultz, tight end, went from Dallas to Houston. Big mistake. Case Keenum goes. So Case Keenum's going to be Houston's quarterback. He's not bad in the right situation. I don't know that Houston's the right situation, but it'll be better than Jeff Mills. Let's see. Robert Moser went from Miami to what the fuck? Bobby Wagner went from the Rams to Seattle. Look out for Seattle. Good pickup there. A'Shawn Robinson goes from the Rams. The Rams are going to be hurting this year. Let's see. Cooper Rush went from Dallas to Dallas. Mariota to Philly. Okay. Paris Campbell went from Indy to the Giants, so they need receivers. I don't know if he's the answer, but can't hurt. Justice Hill, running back, again, from Baltimore to Baltimore. Okay, we got it. McCall Hartman, here we go. Wide receiver goes from KC to Aaron Rodgers on the Jets. So they brought over 2 receivers for Aaron. They drafted 2 linemen for him. A real stud edge rusher from my Iowa State. So look for the Jets. They're going to win that East. And they're going to give the Jets all they want, or Cincinnati all they want with Rodgers. Oof. Mike Gesicki goes from Miami to New England. That's surprising. What's New England going to do with him? They need a quarterback. Let's see. Sam Darnold goes out to Frisco. Who needs a quarterback? It ain't Darnold and it ain't Trey Lance. Philip Walker goes to Chicago, quarterback from Carolina. Wow. Drew Lock, he sucked. Mayfield goes to Tampa, but they got trash there, so stop fucking around out there. Travis Homer, running back, went from Seattle to Chicago. It's not much of a help for Chicago. Let's see, anything else worth? There's a ton of them, but a lot of them are just re-signing with the same team. Devin Bush went from Pitt to Seattle. Look at Seattle. He's good. Devin Bush from Michigan got injured, and now he's out to Seattle. Look out. Fuck them. Nothing. Bunch of guys I've never heard of, and they're all going to the same team. Let's see. Matt Collins going from Oakland to Atlanta. What a pickup for Atlanta there. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's by money. So now we're getting down to $2 million. It ain't gonna be any good. Where did Ezekiel Elliott go? Deshaun Elliott. Where did Ezekiel go? I might have to Google that one. Blaine Gabbert. He sucked. He's always sucked. What the fuck is he doing in the league? You're paying him a guy $1.3 million, and the guy can't even be the water boy. Well, so I got to find transactions then, huh? Let's try a team one. So let's see. Team spending. I don't care about that. Don't care about. I don't care about the money. I'm looking for the player. Like I'm looking. Here we go. Ezekiel Elliott, 16 million. Derrick Henry, 16 million. Nick Chubb, 14. So where do they go? I don't care what their money is. I only care about where did they go. Chocolate Eclair only makes 3.4. McCaffrey only makes 3.4. That's ridiculous. So that's it. 6 years, 90 million. I don't care about that. Where did he go? Transactions. So it just says released by Dallas March 15th. It doesn't say where he's this. Okay. So we don't know where Elliott's going. Hey, Nick. I haven't heard from you in a while. Stacking up on Burrow PSA 10s and keep your gold and silver coming. I was just looking at free agent movement, and so New Orleans is puzzling. They get Derek Carr, then they draft Jake Hayner, who's better than Derek Carr. So I am like confused by that. Why go and trade and sign him and then draft the guy who's better than him? And they're both out of Fresno State. This will be interesting. So Carolina, whatever his name is from Alabama, so he won't be starting this year. We know Indy won't start their guy, and we know Houston won't start their guy because the guys they brought up are much better than they are, even though they're not very good. So we'll keep that in mind. So anyway, kind of finishing up on the draft. I did a draft video yesterday, and I just did a draft, and then I ended it and went on to our economics talks. So we got to see where Elliott goes, Derrick Henry goes, some of these big stud running backs that they're probably waiting for the quarterback. A lot of these teams will still stink because they don't know how to value the quarterbacks they picked up. You're better off drafting Hayner or Hooker or Stenson Bennett, like the Rams. They're better off drafting Stenson Bennett than they are picking up some, I don't know, Blaine Gabbert as a free agent who sucks. They just, I don't know, they don't get it. Anyway, so with that said, gold price today's, really fine. Again, with the bank runs and the banks and this Republic Bank, see, it doesn't go sort of like an effect. Your accounts will just go to JP Morgan if you want it or not. Now you're going to get a lot higher fees, and they're banking that you won't leave them, and they're banking that you'll be too afraid to leave them, going, well, I know where to go, I'm going to stay there. And that's another problem. We will see what happens. My back's much better today, and now my foot's bothering me again. I've never seen anything like it. It goes from my back to my feet. My back goes fine. My feet get sore. My left foot's swelled up. And then it gets off my feet and goes back to my back. And now it's off my back and back on my left foot where I can barely walk. I order when I go on the way to the pool, I'll go get that. I'll probably go to the gold store tomorrow or Wednesday just to see what they have. Not really looking to buy. I'm waiting for the first couple of weeks of the job to go. Then I know I'll be getting money in and I can do that. Job starts Friday, so I'm excited. It should be a lot like Mercedes. We'll see. And it's remote and working at the office. When you're working at the office, people are around, people are looking, people are talking, you're going to the bathroom to take a break. You're going to the lunchroom to get a coffee, get a bagel, or in our case, an avocado. And it's really different. And when you're working at home, there's nobody to bother you. So on one hand, you get more work done. On the other hand, you're like, I'll take a break. What's on YouTube? And that's sort of where it gets difficult. And you got to be really good at, this is what I have to do today and do it. Then you can, kind of, you're getting your work done. So it's basically get your work done. And actually it's better because you're more motivated to do it quicker and better. So you get it done. So now I can sit in my house and start my dinner or well, maybe you can now with your cell phone. I think people are doing that. So we looked at gold and let's see. It's all over. Ukraine missiles hit Putin's home air base and blew it up. Great plan. See, but you don't know what to do with the story. Did it happen? Now what? It's they don't want the war to end the U.S. They want to keep selling missiles to these people. So, I mean, it's really disgusting that what the U.S. is keeping the war going for no reason. They don't benefit from it except for the money, right? Let's see. Let's see. So I was watching the rise and fall of China. And and the rise and fall of Sweden or Switzerland. And it's all economics. It's the same thing. China was a nothing country in the 60s. And then what happens is they start allowing private property and capitalism. This is for my communist friends who believe communism is better than capitalism. So you got communism in China, and they have no economy. It's dirt roads. They don't even have roads. They don't have houses. They don't have anything. It's just farmland. And then what happens is they start private property, and then division of labor kicks in. So because the labor's cheap, people like Ford and GM go over there to get their automobiles done, figuring, the cost is nothing. So they're going to the cheapest place, which is China, and they're all rice eaters and, patty people. They're not really strong, skilled. And so because they're cheap, people come there, it starts growing and growing. And then people start going to school. So it went from like 1 million to 10 million a year. And eventually what happens, like in everything, so it starts growing and growing, and then it grows too much. And then 10 million people graduate from school, from college, don't need 10 million. So now the rice eaters that were cheap turn into college students who are not cheap, and nobody wants them. And China doesn't know how to grow their own economy or their own business. So they can just build for GM and Ford. Then they start building houses. Then what happens? So that's how they rose. Here's how they collapsed. They start building houses, right? But what do? The barbecue. Well, I'll pay you $100 for the house, and they're starting to sell them for $200,000. Guess what? You don't have. Nobody can buy them because nobody has. You're over market. And eventually they ran into debt problems, and then they couldn't afford them. Then the builders couldn't build, and they weren't finishing what the guys were paying for. They stopped paying the mortgages, and then they had a debt crisis, Evergrande, and that's the end of them, where they then go to, so they do full circle where it's cheap. And then as they start getting better, they start making houses as the way out. So really they went from rural to urban. So they're on the farm to now they're in the city, and in the city you need houses, and with the houses you need builders. They're building the houses, but they keep raising the price too much, and then nobody can afford them. So everybody went to school to learn a skill, and then business goes bad, and then they threw themselves over with the housing and the debt, and then ended up. So China's broke right now. But they have gold. Now, I don't know how this is going to play out, because it's not like the citizens are going to have gold. The Federal Reserve, or the Central Bank of China, has the gold. Not necessarily. I mean, some of the people do, but who knows what they're going to do to them. But China's pretty fucked because nobody can afford the houses, and all the housing developers are going out of business because they owe more than they're getting in. They're not getting in any money, and they keep building and building and building. So they build 10 different complexes, but nobody can buy them because they're too expensive, and all that money's out and China. So this is China's problem, is the housing sector collapsed. The people can't find jobs because now they're all educated, and nobody wants to pay them all that money, and there's really no Chinese business there. So there's U.S. businesses there hiring cheap Chinese labor, and now what's happening is the U.S. are going to India to hire cheap India labor, and all the Chinese are just because they don't know how to create. That's not what communists do, and so that's the problem. So that's kind of the rise and fall of China. Now their debt's up the butt. The only savior of the country is the gold, which, again, we're waiting for the gold to go up. So they'll benefit from it. But outside of that, that's it. Oh, my foot's hurting. I'm so frustrated of the foot hurting, the back hurting, the foot. Can't I just be healthy? It's like, Oh my God, it's crazy. I don't know. It's like I don't eat badly, as you know, but occasionally, a donut or something, and then all of a sudden my foot hurts. Like, really, I had a Diet Coke. Oh, okay. No more of those. And I keep saying that, and I keep having them, and I keep hurting my foot. So it's insane because I don't think it'll matter once I do a fast that I figure I'm cleaned out, but apparently not. So that's China's problems, right? Their workforce is getting older. Their housing market collapsed. They don't have a stock market because nobody trusts them, because nobody trusts communists, except for my guy in the pool. He's the only one that trusts communists. He reads Karl Marx. What a fucking idiot. So haven't seen him in a week or so. Let's see what else. So then I get to Switzerland. And what happens with Switzerland? They're a rich country because they have Nestle's and they have Rolexes or watches, and then the banks. And the banks are supposed to be secretive. In 2008, and I don't know why, Obama wants tax money. So he says, well, we need to know the people that are paying tax in Switzerland and tax them. And the whole point of Switzerland was that's not what they're supposed to do. It's supposed to be secret. I don't know why Switzerland gave in. They didn't want to, but I think they had to. Now the banking's fucked because nobody wants to bank there anymore. And that's where they made all the money, was in the banking. And a little with Nestle's and a little with the Swiss watches and stuff like that. So they're still a strong country financially, but the banks are all fucked. There's no advantage of secretive in the banking anymore. Hard to believe Obama did it, but everybody had to pay their fair share. Total communist. This is the problem when you let communists run. You let them in the door, and you're fucked. So Obama's a communist in sheep's clothing, as we knew. So it's really him who's putting us on this decline to hell, along with Soros and all these crazy people, the elitists who think they're better than us, and we're too stupid to know what to do. That's because they haven't met the professor who tells everybody what to do. So watching him, I didn't like that he bullied Switzerland. That's their country. Why are you kowtowing to Obama, what he wants? I'd say, fuck you. They didn't want to do it, but he must have made them an offer they couldn't refuse, and they had to do it, I guess. So Switzerland's banking is in trouble because of the secrecy that they used to have, and they don't have anymore. But they're still okay because of the chocolates, the watches, and stuff like that. I watched both of those, and it both come back to economics. So what happens is when the let's see, how do I want to do this? So when there's this many workers and you're paying them this, then you're okay. Then you hire the workers until when it goes this way, right? So when the ribs are this much, the people don't want to pay. So you have all these workers, farm workers in China, but the wages are down here. And then when the wages start going up, you don't want to do anything with them. You just kind of leave it alone. I'm not saying it properly. I know that. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. So you have this much workers and this much work, and they want more, right? And they're driving the price up, but then the other countries that are eating, you can get them for cheaper wage. And that's what happened. And they're just looking for the cheapest wage. So it goes from China to India, and that's basically what happens. So with that said, that's why China's going broke. Russia's got trouble with that. There was something in China, they wanted to work 9-9-6, which was work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. You out of your freaking mind? So they liked it because the government installed it because this way you don't need as many workers and you don't pay them as much. The problem is you have all these college students. So the supply of college students was here, but you had this many jobs, and 996 means I only need this many people. So you've got more people than you by doing 996. If you would have done a normal 8 to 4 and then a second shift, then you would have needed more people, and that would have made sense. But when you do 996, 6 days a week, I'm working 9 to 9. They're all killing themselves because they can't do it, but they're trying to get ahead so they can buy a house that they won't build. So it's China's totally fucked. But that's what happened. It was Adam Smith comes in, use Adam Smith theories in the late 60s, 70s, and that's why China becomes a powerhouse. But as you can see, what happens is as you get more gold and you get more, you get richer and more powerful, here come the dragons and the government and the communists come in, and it's easy. Oh, good. Look at all this money for us. And they just steal it. And that's what happens. And that's what the JP Morgans and the Rothschilds and all those guys do. They wait to see it and then they just steal the money. And it's really a shame. But that's the nature of the beast. They're always going to come at us once we are successful. Look at any company, right? Nobody wants them. And then all of a sudden, here comes a good up and coming IT company. Microsoft buys you for $1 million to keep you off from competing with them. You're really smart. You can $100 million, but people take the money going, oh my God, $1 million. And Microsoft doesn't care. It's nothing. And then they get rid of the competition that way. No competition, worst, bad quality, bad price, bad product. The more competitive it is, the better the price, the better the quality. And that's what you want. So that's China and that's Switzerland. So again, the niche they had was robbed from them by Switzerland by the U.S., China, just their own stupidity. And that's the problem with it. The rest of Europe is all getting fucked because they don't make things. Well, Germany makes some stuff, but it's changing. It's difficult in Europe to really try to compete and try to come out with the new products that it goes from buggy whip to car. And so you need to change. Now, this electric car is never going to work because nobody wants it. You always have to follow Say's law, which means if people demand it, you make it. Not the other way around. Oh, we're going to make an electric car and hope somebody wants it. It doesn't work that way. It's the other way around. It's make us an electric car and then they build it, but nobody's asking for one, so it won't work. Just keep the gas powered cars coming. What else? So that's Europe, that's China, Switzerland. It all comes back to the supply demand of economics is all the countries. So bank runs, it's the same thing. It's, I think, control. I think it's done on purpose. I think it's do a bank run, and then everybody gets scared, which is what their point is. And then you go ahead and what do? You move your money into JP Morgan because it's deemed safe. But the problem is it's not safe. You get your money out of the fucking banking system and buy gold and silver or keep some money in your safe at home. People think that the bank is safe. Oh, okay. Well, if you're a First Republic, how safe is your money? So now they're kind of playing this game where, oh, look, JP Morgan's going to run it all. They're safe. They're safer than First Republic. A bank's a bank. I mean, it might have a different name on the door, but why is JP Morgan any safer than, Wells Fargo? I mean, it isn't. Bigger doesn't matter. If it's all money and money's worthless, it doesn't matter. Warren Buffett has $2 billion. It's in cash. When cash goes to zero, 2 billion times zero is zero. He's going to lose his ass. And that's the problem. They don't know, or they don't want to admit they don't know, or they don't want to. I think most people with a lot of money, they get credit for being smart because they got $1 billion. Why are you smart? Because you got $1 billion. Maybe you're a crook. Maybe you stumbled into it. I mean, there's a lot of ways that, look at Gates as a billionaire. He doesn't know anything. Certainly doesn't know economics. He stole all the ideas. He never really created anything. So all he is a thief, and he's got $1 billion. What does he know? He doesn't know anything. Certainly doesn't. Like, is he out there farming now? Do you think he bought all the farmland? You think he's got the little tractor out there and he's going with it? Of course not. He's not doing anything with the land. He doesn't know what to do with it. He doesn't realize how much it's costing him. However, see, everybody thinks, well, Bill Gates is buying farmland, so that's good. He doesn't know what to do with it. It's a cost. You got to pay taxes on it. You got to do some sort of cutting the lawn and all the maintenance on your lawn. You got to still do. And if you got a lot of it, you got a lot of maintenance. It's a lot of cost. And you're not producing anything. There's no revenue produced. He's not a farm. He's just buying farm land, but he's not farming it. So that's really his problem. But anyway, so that's what's happening. So Europe is kind of fucked. China's broke, but they have the gold. So as soon as gold goes up, so again, it's another incentive to get gold up. Gold being down today, some people get their let's follow this. People are in First Republic. If you haven't moved your money out by now, what the fuck are you waiting for? But let's say they haven't, and now here comes, oh shit, I better get my money out of the bank. Gold goes down. Oh, I don't want to put it in gold. They don't want us in gold, which makes me want to be in gold more. And therefore, they don't want us back in, but it's over. I mean, they can't keep the price lower. It's not going to work like that. Even though they want to, it's not going to take. 575 I saw this morning. Now it's back down to 24 because they sold a few derivatives that were low. But that's what we got to know is that it's not real, and to not, oh, look, silver's still 25. It's never going to go up. It hasn't, so therefore it won't. Yeah, Tom Brady's still on New England. So, oh no, he's on Tampa. No, he might be on Miami this year. I don't think Brady's done, and I don't think he'll ever be. I think why would he retire now? He could go to Miami and play. He sold his house in Tampa. Oh, he's going to do that. So free agent. But that's what you have going on is getting their money out. What you should do is get your money out, put it into gold and silver with the understanding I'm out of this. The whole point is to get out as it's sinking and buy gold and silver. That's your whole point with this. But what they're trying to do is say, well, but look, you're not making any money. Gold doesn't go up. Oh, the housing market's going up. Stock market's going up. The bond market's going up. So where's this? Where is it going up? Oh, money markets, annuities, real estate investment trust. This is where I should put my money. And that's the problem. See, what they're not telling you is those are getting hammered even worse. So you have this, you're buying gold and silver to get out of this, period. Now you'll make money because it's going to eventually go because China needs it up and Russia needs it up, and they're the ones with the gold and they're going to push it up. But that doesn't mean that you buy it. That's what I was thinking of. So the problem is you don't want to not buy it because, it's, silver's $25 an ounce. Why would I buy it? It doesn't go anywhere. You're not buying it because it doesn't go anywhere. You're buying it to get out of this. So it's simply A and A, right? This hit the iceberg. This is going down. I buy gold and silver. That's it. Now, gold and silver should go up, but you're not really buying gold and silver to go up. But because it's been manipulated down, it's going to go up. So you're going to get the benefit of it. But you're doing it to really get out of this before this goes to zero. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. And that's the point. So when they keep the price down, they're trying to say, look, gold and silver is not a really good investment. It's not an investment. It's money. You're buying money. You're buying silver, not to invest, to buy it, to get out of the paper. So as long as you keep an understanding of that, you can't, there's no risk. It can't go down. I mean, it can go down 10, 20 cents, like silver goes down to 25, but, just and by football season, it'll be much higher. And that's all you can do is just know that's happening. Know you've got your money out of the fiat bullshit. You got out of this, which you had to. This is losing value. There's no way around it. I showed you hyperinflation yesterday in Lebanon, right? It was 200% inflation in Lebanon. Well, it's going to happen here. It's happened in Japan. It's happened in Russia. It's probably happening in China. So the whole thing, Turkey's got inflation. So they all have inflation, but we're not going to have inflation. It doesn't work that way. So really, that's what you're trying to do is you see all that and go from it. And that's why you're buying gold and silver. You're not trying to make a fortune, but you're going to make a fortune by mistake price fixing. So once it goes to free market and you got wars going on, you got inflation going on, they're holding it down, and you just can't keep doing it. So that's the point of gold. It's our protector. Europe we talked about. So I was in Spain. Nice place, a lot of motorcycles, $7 a gallon gas. They're trying to do digital currency there. I don't know if it'll work or not. I hope not. And I don't know what to do, if I should move there or stay here. I don't want to move there and then the digital currency hits and then you're fucked. So we will see. But nothing good's going to come out of all this shit. It'll be like destruction and then the rebirth. And so we're waiting for the rebirth. And we're going to live it out with gold and silver. And we'll be fine. Russia and the war, who knows? All I know is Ukraine did that. Oh, there was a neat thing I was watching on YouTube where the Russian soldiers put on the Ukrainian prisoner uniforms like the Battle of the Bulge. The Battle of the Bulge, the Germans were speaking English. And so they would get on a U.S. uniform and they'd go into the battle and they'd start talking to the English troops. And then they would start killing the American troops because they would talk American. And then the guard would, oh, they're with us. And they'd kill them all. And I don't know how they found out about it, but they did, fortunately. And that's what they're doing now. So the Russians are dressing up in Ukraine prisoner and going and joining. But the Ukrainians, give them credit. They're a smart fucking bunch. They sewed the flag upside down if they're a prisoner. So if you're wearing a prisoner, you're not Ukrainian, you're Russian. So they thought about this, saying, hey, they might do this. Let's be careful. And so they said, okay, put your flag upside down. We'll know you're Ukrainian. The Russians obviously don't know this. And the Russians are putting their flag right side up. Although I don't know why they told it on TV. It's like telling a tell. What are you doing? You shouldn't be telling that. I mean, that's now they're going to know what to do in the next round of this shit. Again, it has no meaning. There's no purpose of it. There's no reason. They had Crimea. They'd have been better off not going to war. So they lost Crimea. They can't attack Kiev. A lot of money and weapons that have been blown up. I know Jenna's freaking out with the when the missiles hit. And anyway, so me and her had a fight. So I told you I was going to Barcelona to see her, and then her girlfriend was also meeting us there from Germany, and the girlfriend's boyfriend. And so I get, I'm all fucked up from the trip. My back's hurting, my feet's hurting. I don't see her very often Friday. She's with her girlfriend on Saturday. And she's supposed to come back to the room to pick me up to go to the beach. She doesn't do that. So I got to limp down to the cab, and it's not till 3:30, so I'm pretty pissed off. I get there, and I'm like yelling, going, what the fuck did you do? You're supposed to come back at noon. She doesn't do it. And so anyways, then she leaves early, which I don't buy. Nobody buys, right? I told a few waitresses she had to go to walk her dogs, and they're all looking at me like, you leave a vacation in Barcelona to go back to the Ukraine to walk your dogs. And they're all like, no, that's bullshit, which I thought too. And so I'm not really talking to her much because I'm still mad about the whole trip, because basically you left me Monday and I'm there till Friday. I says, if I wanted to have a tone, I would have went to Amsterdam, or I would have went to Vegas, where I could have fun with the girls there, and the whole atmosphere in Amsterdam's good, or Vegas. I can do that I can go play poker and watch the sports in Vegas. But I don't want to be in Barcelona and then you're not there, because I'm anticipating good. I'll be with my girlfriend. So so I'm not really talking to her much. And then she says something to me. She says, are you ignoring me? And then I gave her a voicemail of about 25 minutes on WhatsApp, and I just laid into her and I said, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you left me there. You didn't come back Saturday. You left early. Da 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 da. I said, you didn't get me a birthday present, because we were there for the birthdays. And she says, well, I didn't have any money. And I go, I gave you 50 euros to go shopping. You could have bought me a $2 item. You could have bought me an apple or an avocado. I didn't. It's not the gift. It's happy birthday, and here's a little something. I didn't need $100 belt or anything. That's not what I was trying to get. And and then she doesn't want to talk about it. So she texts me back and she says, I don't want to be insulted, and da 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 da, and you're doing this and that. And I'm like, you still haven't answered any of the questions. Why did you do this? Why didn't you come back to the room? Why did you leave early? She says, I had to leave early. You didn't have to leave early. Bullshit. So I got I'm really upset that I got played, and I don't like getting played. Now, I've known her for years. We've been on other vacations, so I'm really just scratching my head going, what the fuck are you doing? Now you're in the middle of a war. I'm getting you to Barcelona to get 10 days of relaxation, and you run back to get your dog. Like, her son was supposed to watch the dog. And then if he couldn't do it, I would have assumed that his son's wife could have let the dog out for 5 minutes, and then that's it. But they probably live a half hour away, so it's not easy. But she's on vacation. So, now I'm like just, furious at her. And I keep saying, because I'm nice doesn't mean I'm weak. That's what Kenzie thought. So when you're nice, I come across nice. But if you fuck me over by leaving a vacation that I spent your plane and hotel, and I can't get the money back. So if we're there till Friday and you want to leave Monday, I'm fine. The plane I booked, and now I got to get you. Like, she doesn't give a shit. So I'm like, well, then fuck you. I don't, I help you. I help your family, and this is the thanks I get. Well, fuck you then. So it's a real problem when you help somebody, but you're nice and you don't mind helping, and they're in a war. I'm going to help you, but you bite the hand that feeds you is not the real smart thing to do. So this is how I am 99.5%, but I do have the INFJ inside me that if you fuck me over like she did, he's going to come out. And he came out, And so last night, I'm just leaving this. It ended up being a half-hour message. She says, I don't want to be insulted for a half hour. First of all, I didn't insult you. I said, this is my point of view. She doesn't listen. And then that's really it. But that's the communication part, right? You're with somebody, a husband, wife, your daughter, your parents, your family, your friends, and then this shit happens. And so I try to explain myself. I am upset because of this. And I don't let it go. I don't just say, okay, I'm not upset anymore. You left me alone, and you left me early on a vacation to Barcelona. That's not good. You've got to know that I'm not happy about it. How do we go on another vacation? Are you really going to stay the whole time, or are you not going to stay the whole time? I can't trust that you're going to stay the whole time, right? Are you going to leave after 3 days because your son can't watch the dog and you're not smart enough to have plan B? Well, if my son can't watch the dog, then his wife can watch the dog, or my neighbor can watch the dog. Just let him out to go pee. I mean, this is where I had to go home. No, that doesn't. Why? What do you mean you had to go home? You had to go home to let the dog out? So again, that's bad planning, and it hadn't happened on the other vacation. So I'm really surprised it happened here, and it's really upsetting to me. So I'm like, but she's not listening to that. There's no, I apologize. I really didn't want to go, but I had to. And sorry about the day when I was supposed to come back for everything. So she's not, and then I buy her a ticket Monday night to fly home early. I should have said, your ticket's for Friday. Early. You wouldn't be able to, because she didn't have any. So don't waste my money, right? I'm not going to help you. Don't f around with me. That's where the monster comes out, is when you're taking advantage of me, and I'm too quick to realize that you're taking advantage. So in my mind, as soon as her girlfriend left, she left the next day. And absolutely, that was her intent. And I'm not going to believe otherwise, because she's not remorse about it. And that's the problem. So I'm like, what the fuck? You just fucked me up. Because it cost me another $300 for a plane ticket from Spain to Poland, and then she trained from that. Well, she would have done anyway, but I had to get her another hotel room, and she would have been on a nonstop that would just hit you. That's why you get upset, and I think you should absolutely speak up, not be afraid of it. But I was nice about the explanation. I was like, this is my point of view. This is what bothers me. And, she's going to need money for food, and I ain't going to be answering. Not until I get an apology and answer what the fuck you just did, that you left me on the vacation, that you had to go home. That's bullshit. You couldn't have made a plan B, so now I'm not going to travel with you anymore. There's no point in it, because I can't trust you that you're going to stay the whole time. Anyway, so, I went to the Picasso Museum, as I showed you, on the Tuesday. So she goes home Monday. It's ironic. So Monday, she goes home. I drop her off at the airport. I'm in the cab on the way back. I get the job at Hurley. And then the next day I go to the Picasso Museum and back to the beach. And it was really ironic that the way it worked out, because had I got the job, now she should have been there. Like, if she doesn't run home, then Monday night we're celebrating the new job, and I could have got her a nice souvenir, or something more, knowing I have money. But this is huge. This is a huge job at Harley, so it's great. I mean, I'm very happy. I start Friday, but it's ironic that she went home and then I got the news. So I was like, okay. And she better not be counting on me to help her anymore, because You bit the hand that feeds you is not a real smart thing to do. If you're meeting me for, I tried telling her I'm flying to meet you in Spain here. I'm not going for my health, and it's $1,000 for the hotel and $1,000 for the air. That's just mine, and then another 1,000 for her. So I'm saying, it's costing me $3,000. Now that's okay, I can afford it, and now with the job, it's fine. But that's not the point. I'm spending three to fly to you to spend time with you, and you didn't spend any time with me. Friday I saw her for dinner. Saturday at the late afternoon because she went shopping at 10 o'clock and never came back. And then Sunday, we took her friends in the cab to the airport at 4 o'clock. And then I started seeing her, and then she says, "Oh, I got to go home. The dogs, I can't. I got to let the dogs out." I'm like, so I had to book her. So even then Sunday night, I'm trying to find her a flight. But the whole point is I spend no time with her, and I'm really like, and I'm reading it like she doesn't want to spend time with. She's not, she's like, and that's fine. I mean, like they say, I'm going to fold my hand and off we go. And that's what you do. But that's what you got to read. Like, and this is why you have multiple girlfriends, right? I know some people might look at me funny because I do, but this is the exact reason. Now I'm not crying, "Oh, my girlfriend." So you don't get fucked over. Oh, girl, and I met this guy and I met this girl, and we're kind of friends. And that's the point of life. When you meet somebody that you like to spend time with, you spend time with them. And when they your dogs out, go have your dogs pay for your food. I mean, it's insane. And then she gets mad when I try to explain, like, she says, "Are you mad?" I says, "Yes, you're damn right I'm mad. I'm pissed off. It was crazy. You didn't spend any time with me. What the fuck? I fly to Spain to spend time with you for 8 days, and you don't have any intention of staying there." And you there, and they all laughed. They all said, "No, that doesn't sound." She has to let her dogs out. Like, she's leaving you in Barcelona to let her dogs out in the Ukraine. Nobody bought it, and I don't buy it either. I think she just went to see her friend, and she's mad that I called her on it. I'm sorry, but that's just bullshit. What you did is bullshit. So anyway, that there's nothing, now I got the job, and now we'll replace her with another girl, but it's perfectly fine. That's the problem. Relationships last. People use the other person, and then they get as much out of it as they can, and then she probably found somebody else. And I felt something was funny. Why before she'd be excited to go, and that was Spain was her idea. So let's not forget that. Anyway, this is what you do in life. You look at it, you read the situation, and you move from it. So if this girl, right, and so you talk to a broker or guy at the bank, and he said, "Well, where should I put my money?" And he said, "Oh, a mutual fund, a real estate investment trust, an annuity." The guy at the bank wanted me an annuity. "It'll get you 9%. I go, "I'm going to make like 500% in silver and gold. So, and it's in money, and I want to get out of money. I don't want to be in this. That's why I'm withdrawing all my money and putting it into gold and silver. So I don't want money in your bank in money." And when he answers that is when you go, "Fine, whatever. I don't care. You don't know what you're doing, and it's not in my best interest if you're telling me to stay into this." So you ask the question to get the answer to figure out what to do. I don't want to be in this, and he doesn't recommend gold and silver. Just get up and leave. You ask the girl, "Well, why did you leave?" "I had to. I had to let the dog out." You don't have anybody there that can let the dog out. You book a trip that you can. And then she makes an excuse that her son had to go to Kiev. And I said, "Is he in the army?" She says, "No." I says, "Well, why the fuck would he go to Kiev the middle of a war who's sending their people to Kiev. Are you insane? And you expect me to believe it? And then the next day was Thursday. She says, oh, I'm meeting my son for dinner. Wait a minute. I thought he was in Kiev. So he goes for the day. So you couldn't have left your dog alone on Wednesday, and then he's back Thursday to let him out. So it was a lot of that shit that I caught her on, and just normally am nice. I know she's in a war. I'm normally nice. Oh, you want to go to this place for dinner? Fine. You want to go here? Fine. I normally am not. I'm just laid back and whatever you want to do until you fuck me over. If you have a dog, you don't have kids that need attention. So you have a dog, and so you should have taken him to the kennel. So of course we have kennels. And I says, well, why? She went home to feed the dog, and she just laughed. She said, that's ridiculous. And so what Jen is doing by not answering the question, why did you leave? And then she gets all upset when she has to answer, is the answer itself. In other words, I'm calm. Buy your gold and silver. Don't get into a annuity. Okay, I'm calm. I'm not yelling. But when somebody starts yelling, when you question them, they're guilty. That's all hyper. They're cheating. Well, they're out with somebody else, basically, because they don't want to answer the question. And that's how you know you don't need the answer if you get the answer like that. So that's the psychology part of it. That's what you have. That's what she was. So her response is, will not listen to your insult for 38 minutes. It wasn't an insult. It was my point of view. I was very clear about that. I didn't like that you didn't come back to the room. So in my point of view, I need you to show. You gave me so I give her gold and silver. And I said, I give you gold and silver. Like, you're the man. You didn't do your best. I don't know what the fuck. I didn't do my best. War in the country, and you dare to say such things to me. I didn't expect this from you. Where is my gift? Why did you leave? I explained to you. I had to leave. Really? I won't talk about this anymore. Think about your behavior. So she's trying to blame me. In other words, I said, why didn't you get me a birthday gift? It was my birthday. Well, it was my birthday. And she says, I do not have enough money for gift, and you know it. Yes, you do. I gave her 50 euros to go shopping. She had 50. I need $100 gift. It's the symbol of happy birthday. Here, I thought about you. I love you. Here's your gift. That's what I'm trying to say, which she can't understand. And now she's blaming my behavior because I don't agree with what she did. She says, you didn't have to. That's the part that you're not getting. I'm questioning why you left, that you couldn't have come up with. You can't, that's not an option to leave early because we paid for the hotel and we paid for the air. And now I have to get you a second ticket for another $350 that I shouldn't have to do. And you didn't spend any time with me, which she doesn't talk about. That's what I was upset about too. I'm there to meet you, and you're see you for 5 minutes Friday and 5 minutes Saturday. And then, a little bit on Sunday, you didn't spend time with me. So that was my point. You're not spending time with me so you can spend time with your girlfriend. Well, what the fuck? I mean, then go meet your girlfriend. And by the way, you go pay to go to Berlin to meet your girlfriend. That's perfectly fine. Go do that. Don't sit there. And so what am I here for? So I can pay for the meals and pay for everything. And you use me to do that? Is that what it's about? I'm planning on meeting you on vacation and you didn't do it. So I just assume go to Amsterdam by myself and that be it. If it's true, it's so stupid. Why would you fly home to let your dogs out? You don't have anyone. She wouldn't answer. I said, oh, okay, that's the answer. So anyway, it's all human behavior psychology, which is what we use for football, basketball, backs against the wall, this whole thing. So that's what that's what I'm teaching. You should be able to read things. Now, I can read things excellent because I'm an INFJ, and we read things extremely well. Most people can't see the same thing I see. That's why I'm trying to help you. But that's what I see, and she doesn't see that. So anyway, um, when we bet an NFL, that's what I'm seeing is other things. So when I tell you about the draft, I see what's going to happen. See, I hate when they go, well, you really can't rate the draft right away because you got to see the players play. No, no, no. I already know the players from watching college. And if you're no good in college, you're not going to be good in pro. If you're Joe Montana in college, okay, so Joe Montana played Rick Leach, 78, Michigan, Notre Dame. Joe Montana looked like he's going to be a superstar. He just drilled it into the receivers right on the numbers. Rick Leach overthrew the guys. So who's going to be the better pro? I mean, Rick Leach couldn't even get drafted because he sucked. And Joe Montana. And that's my point. You're looking at what they did in college as a window into what they're going to do in the pros. And that's what it is. So hard to believe the Lions actually got Hooker, but I can't know really why they drafted him, because if they're not going to run the Tennessee offense, which they don't run, what's he going to do on the Lion offense? See, if the Lions are going to run this whatever offense they run, and it's productive and they score a lot, but it's a quick check, I don't know, running and everything. If that's what you're, I don't know, the Giants, Frisco, he would have been better for those. Could have won 5 Super Bowls if they would have drafted Hooker. So it's just another big mistake by them. But again, you watch them against Alabama, and that did it against the pro defense. 50 points against us because they're playing New Mexico State and, Ole Miss and Old Mississippi State, not really strong defensive teams. That's why I sit there and then take Tagovailoa against Clemson didn't show up, and against the LSU didn't show up. What's he going to do? And Trevor Lawrence in the big game against Ohio State didn't show up 2 years in a row. So that's what I'm looking at, is if they don't show up in a big game in college, how are they going to show up in the pros? The Hainers, he did it in college. You're looking and watching certain things. So with the girl, I'm watching her, and my question is why did you go home? Well, I had to. No, you didn't. Why did you come on the vacation when clearly you came to meet? See, I'm not stupid. You came to meet your girlfriend, which I had no problem with, if you were going to stay for me. So Friday and Saturday, I don't see her at all. And then Sunday, I finally start talking to her on the way home so she can say, oh, I got to go on Monday because I got to be home Wednesday to let the dogs out. I mean, it's like, excuse me. Oh yeah. And by the way, buy me a new plane ticket, and I need luggage. I didn't bring big enough luggage, so I need a bigger suitcase. That was $200 Samsonite there. By the way, so you're just going to pay because I'm your woman, and I'm going to take advantage of you because I'm your woman, and I'm going to, okay, you want dinner here? Fine. I don't care. We got to eat. I don't mind. But when you leave early, you better have an explanation you're looking at. So that's really what you want with your friends, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, whoever, your wife, your husband. I don't know if I got male or females out there listening, and that's the whole point. So you read them. I'm just going to hand it over to you. I need it. So that's what you're looking at. And when you're leaving, you're there with your girlfriend for the 3 days, and you don't even talk to me. And then here we come. Or in her mind, she's talking to her girlfriend, not really talking to me, right? So she's not worried about me because I'm nice. And she doesn't know if she can piss me off because she's never seen it. And then now she's getting the side of you before. I don't know who this person is that I met, because every time we go on a vacation, it's very nice, very pleasant. We relax. We do whatever we want. And it's a nice time. We've never had an argument in 5 or 6 vacations, and now we got this. We're who is this girl? And then she won't, but she gets all nasty because the light's been shined on her and she doesn't know how to deal with it. So she's really, she doesn't know how to handle, she's been caught. It's obvious to me that she went to meet her girlfriend when the girlfriend left. That's stupid, right? Why would you not have made KGB's Oreo cookie, right? Why is he eating the Oreo cookie? Oh, he's got a big hand. That's why. It's probably the worst written poker movie I've ever listened to. There's a point he says, well, I don't have that much time. I'm telling him. What? Well, now you don't know his tell. I mean, all you had to do is if he ate the Oreo, fold, and if he doesn't eat it, just bet. I mean, I don't understand why you didn't have enough time to do that. Surely you did. That's the whole point. And then you could have all the other guys that his tells when he eats the Oreo cookies, which I can't believe all these other professionals watching him haven't seen. Nobody sees him eating an Oreo cookie is the tell that he's got a good hand. Really? What a bunch of morons. So that's my point. He makes these stupid things. But that's my point. That's your tell. The Oreo cookie there is the same as if you ask somebody and they get defensive. And then it's a question of, well, what are we doing here? You're playing me. Is that okay or is that not okay? That's why you have 3 or 4 girlfriends, because if you have extras, not extras, it's just other people you love and care for. Why would you only have one? So you meet 10 more, you're friends with them. Maybe you get intimate with 1 or 2, maybe you don't, but they're your friends. And that's the whole point. And that's what you're trying to do. And then if they fuck you over, okay, I got 9 others. I don't need you, and I'm not going to be depressed by you. That's really the point of it. I was in Cincinnati coming back from Alabama, and I met the girl behind the counter, and she seemed nice. And I said, I just want to be your friend. And she didn't. She was clueless. This girl was so stupid. She's sitting there, oh, I can't do this. I'm married. I go, I don't care that you're married. I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying to be your friend. I'm just trying to help you. Like I do with my Irina, who just had the baby. I'm here to help you. And she couldn't comprehend, can't have any friends if you're married. Really? What kind of life is that? So this is the problem I see in the world as we live, is just that, oh, I'm married, I can't talk to another person. It's like, okay, good luck with that. When you get bored of your spouse and after your divorce, you're going to be crying because you're all alone. And you didn't have to be all alone. You could have been with somebody else who likes you. And just because you like them doesn't mean anything. It's just, I like a million people because of my personality. And that's really what it is. So anyway, that's really what you're looking at. So it's all psychological, and that's what you're on. But when you catch it, when you see the girl going home early and a flimsy excuse of the dog, that's when you start drawing the line. Goes and what the fuck are you doing? You were planning on leaving early the whole time. Don't tell me you weren't. Because she found out about it Saturday and she didn't tell me till Sunday night. Well, or Friday. So if I get there Friday, you're telling me on Saturday, that I gotta go to town. I can't watch the dog right away. I mean, I just got there Friday, ride by Wednesday, and that's really the point of it. How convenient on Saturday, right after I get there, you have to go. You didn't know that? Do you think I'm this stupid? I'm nice, but I'm not stupid. And as I say, I'm not weak. So I'm being nice does not mean I'm weak. So you knew about this Saturday. I got there Friday. And you didn't have to go Sunday. You didn't have to go Saturday. You didn't have to go. That's my gut feeling. Now, I don't care as long as she would have stayed for the vacation, I wouldn't have cared that she goes home for a guy. I was expecting. She's in the middle of a war. Okay, there's a guy. Fine, go ahead. I expect it. Amsterdam or go to Vegas by myself, and I won't count on you. See, then it becomes a trust issue, and you can't count on the person. But you want me to give you money for food, and you want me to give you money, and I bring gold and silver. So I bring all this money and give you and take care of you, but I'm expecting you to be honest, and I can trust you. So if we're going to meet for a week, I expect you to meet me for the week. I don't trust you anymore. I can't go on another vacation with you because I can't trust you're going to spend the week with me. So we go to like Rome. You're going to leave 2 days after we get there, or are you going to stay the whole week? I mean, that's the problem. So I'm not buying what I'm not smelling what she's cooking, Rock. Bobby, I don't smell it. I think it's bullshit. Now she just, Howard will give me money because he takes care of me. No more. You're on your own. You've done that to yourself, though, so don't bitch at me. You've done it to yourself, and that's the problem with it. So you've got to be. For me, I got to be strong, and like I said, I'm not weak. So therefore, if you think you can leave, and I'm still going to give you money for food and the gym, you're out of your fucking mind. That's where I'm not weak. So that's the point. So anyway, so that's what happened, and we will go from there. But I'll keep you tuned, but don't like it. So anyway, last subject is the NBA for today. See, sometimes I like to get it out and talk about it, get the poison out, try to get reactions, but Bobby's not on. Let's see. And I think it's good for you. I think it helps you. I'm sure we all have that. I'm sure that all helps. What do we got in the NBA today? Yeah, I don't like this. I'm going to the other site. Scores and odds. All right. Boston, Philly, game 1. Boston laying 9.5. Boston will probably win, but it's too much. I'm not going to. I want to bet back against the wall games. Denver 4 over Phoenix. Denver won the first game. Now here comes game 2. Now we have Phoenix off of a loss, backs against the wall. Their back's not really against the wall, but they have to win off of the loss to tie the series at 1. Now Denver might win it. I would think Denver wins again. Again, only -4. So let's go with Denver -4. Just real small. And then we'll go Boston, Philly. We'll just watch. Again, I like the home team in game 1, so that would be Boston. But there's no purpose to the game yet. So in other words, if Philly wins game 1, then I can jump on Boston game 2, like we jumped on Golden State game 2 also. In this case, it's a game 1. Neither team is down, so it's kind of a vanilla game. And then from here, now Boston wins. We bet Philly game 2. If Philly wins, which is what we hope, then we jump on Boston in game 2. And that's really what we're hoping for. Excuse me. So that's all we got today. We'll talk about tomorrow's tomorrow. What else? So everything is economics. Um, Everything's really Say's law. Even with Jenna, it's Say's law. What's my demand for her, and at what point can she increase price or increase her what she's doing? Right? She can't do that. She keeps pushing. Well, I'm going to go. I'm not going to stay the whole time. Well, again, you're pushing, but Say's law, I'm right here, and you're kind of going up and up and up. So she's up here, and I'm like, no, I'm not going up. I'm not doing that. I don't care about the few $100s I had to spend on her other plane ticket. It's all credit card, which is probably going to zero anyway. It's just the idea. Then it becomes psychological. To put it in economics terms, let's say it's ribs for $25 at our rib store, at our barbecue. And the guy's charging 29. And now he charges 29. He takes 2 ribs off. So this is 13 ribs. Now it's 11 ribs for the same price because he's getting a price increase, but he knows the market won't go to her. That's about what it is. So now I'm going to cheat you out of 2 ribs. I'm going to take 2 ribs out and still charge you the same price. And at what point do you sit there and say, no, I'm not going to take that? That's ridiculous. You're charging the same. It happens with tuna fish, right? It used to be 6 ounces in the can. Now it's 4 ounces in the can. Or Oreo cookies, the package is smaller. So what you have is what will you tolerate? Okay, yeah, okay, you take 1 rib away, not a problem. Okay, I understand. But in this case, with the girl leaving early, I don't tolerate that. So it's really a toleration. That's how a marriage, or I've been married, or a friendship. You tolerate so much. But if you go out and you're meeting your friend and dinner's at 6:30 and you get there at 6 feet on a flat tire, there's an accident, okay, then you can tolerate it. But if they don't give you anything, you can't tolerate the lateness. And that was the other thing. Saturday when I'm waiting for her at noon and she's saying, oh, come, we're at this restaurant. Why don't you meet us here? And I don't know nobody knew what the restaurant was. And then finally at 3:30, oh, we're at the beach. Why don't you come to the beach? We're at this restaurant. Finally, I got into the cab. But again, I kept saying, come home, pick me up. I need you to pick me up. It's hard for me to walk, my back, my feet. I need you to come get me. And she wouldn't do it. So I couldn't tolerate that. I couldn't tolerate that either she let her friend talk her out of it or she didn't care enough about me to help me. Either way, then it becomes the tolerance. That's how you're crossing the line. And I think that's what we get in most relationships. I had a friend in Alabama, real strange guy. And I met him at the health club and kept wearing this stupid Atlanta Braves hat. And he had these really gray teeth and his hair, this guy was pathetic. And so we started talking and we started talking about baseball cards. We started talking about silver and gold. And he's nice, but pathetic. And so I could only take so much of him. And then it was like, okay, I can't take any more of this guy. He had reached the point where I kept saying, you need to sell your stocks and buy gold and silver because and this was like when I was coming back from Alabama. This was like last March. It was a year ago. And I will, and who knows? And then he started chewing out Adam Smith, which I will not tolerate, like saying, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I said, did you buy your gold yet? No. And it was just the way he said it. I said, I can't do this anymore. I said, have a nice life. I can't sit there with you. You're just too strange. I told him that to get his teeth polished, like at least make them white. they were gray, and his hair needed to be cut, and it was just it was really a nightmare. But that's the problem. So you kind of tolerate him for a point, but then you you're trying to help them. Hey, buy, go sell your stocks, buy gold and silver before they go up. That was the point. It's a zero risk. You're going to make a ton with gold and silver. But no, he won't do it. Oh, okay. So you're kind of tolerating it. He's at least saying, I'll do it. And then he never does it. And so you're just sitting there going, what the fuck? Okay, I'm done. Well, it's sort of like the communist in the hot tub telling him to buy gold, and then he doesn't. And then you're just saying, okay, I got nothing to say to you. And that's kind of what it was. So you just reached the point of, I got nothing to say to you. And that's what I've just reached with Jenna. I got nothing to say to her. I can't trust you. You don't want to be with me because we're on vacation that you planned. That if you couldn't get somebody to watch your dog, we could have done it 3 weeks later. I mean, when's a good time for you to get somebody to watch the dog? And if you can't find anybody to watch the dog to meet me, okay, then what's the point of what we're doing here? So that's how I feel. I've reached that point. In an INFJ world, it's closing the door. Okay, I don't have anything more to say that's constructive, that's going to help this situation. So you leave it open just a little because I do care for her, and I don't mind helping her, even though in her world maybe she thinks she's using me, but I'm not going to sit there and take this shit. And I'm not stupid. So, that's the whole thing. How much do you tolerate? So again, tuna goes from 6 ounces to 4 ounces at the same price. You're like, what the fuck? And then you got these other products at the same price. And like, as I've said, if price goes up, you just don't buy them. They got to lower the price because they got to move the inventory. So that's how we win if you're smart. But if you keep spending too much on these things, all I know is the avocados I'm still getting for 99 cents. Bananas, all the veggies, still very, very cheap. I wouldn't even know if broccoli went from $2.99 to $3.99. I'd have no idea. It's still a very cheap item to buy, or red leaf lettuce, or red and yellow peppers. They're going down in price. I see they're like 4 for $5. They were $1.70, and now they're back down. Anyway, I had an interesting thing at the grocery store last week, a couple days ago. I went for a 4-piece chicken, $7.99. So they're giving the 4. Well, we don't have the 4 different, the leg, wing, thigh, and breast. We have 3 breasts and a thigh. I says, well, I want a 4-piece. Give me the 4. Give me those as the 4 then. And it was like 5:45 on I think it was Saturday. No, Friday probably. And because I get the Chinese Saturday and had it Sunday. So I'm like, so I get the thing, and I'm smart enough to look at the price. It's like $12. I said, this is an $8. This is 4-piece for $7.99. Well, yeah, but we don't have wings and wings and legs. I said, well, that's not my fault. I want a 4-piece. It says it's $7.99. You have only 4 pieces. Give me the 4 pieces you have. And typical liberals, they wouldn't do it. She wants to charge me per piece. Well, wait a minute. Your $7.99 is not per piece. It's lumped in. So if you took the wing, the leg, the breast, and the thigh, it's more than $7.99. So you're giving me a $7.99 4-piece. Then she says, we'll go talk to the manager who's cutting the deli slices. And he says, well, if you want, I can make it for you in 15. It'll take 15 minutes to make it. I said, I'm not waiting 15 minutes. I get my back's hurting. I go, why is it 15? Why isn't it almost done? Or if you ran out, why can't I get it? And at the end, I said, fuck you guys. And I went and talked to the manager. And I says, but here's where the professor comes in. I do it as a business. So I say to him, well, you make bonus based on sales, right? And he goes, yeah. So if I want to buy chicken, you probably shouldn't be out of it, right? He says, yeah. So I said, well, why in that 4-piece? And he happened to be at the deli counter when I was, but I didn't know he was the manager. So I make a comment to him like, these guys are costing you money because not only do they not have the wings and legs to sell the forks for $7.99, they don't even have it cooking. It's 5:45. You're open till 7. That's an hour worth of that's not cooking. And the guy's telling me to wait 15 minutes so he can start it. Why isn't it going? He needs these pieces. What the fuck's he doing? And the manager, I'm talking to him in business, can't really argue. He couldn't argue. He says, yeah, you're right. I'm losing sales because they're not doing it. I says, and I shouldn't have to wait 15 minutes, and I should be able to get those 4 pieces at, if this guy's too incompetent to make legs and thighs and wings, now why is he not making them? You're open another hour. He's out of them. People, you sell 4-piece dinners. Why aren't you selling it? And the manager was like, I had him by the balls. He's like, exactly, you're right. So he was going to go talk to the manager. We're like, why aren't you cooking these anyway? Why does this guy have to want them for you to put them on and then tell him to wait 15 minutes? He said, this is supposed to be fast food. He says, it's a chicken. It's the deli counter at the chicken. It's not, let's cook the meal. No, they should be cooked. And so the manager's like he knows I got him by the balls. And I'm being very nice. I'm in my normal mold. I'm not in my INFG mold at this point. I was getting there with the deli people, but not with the manager. So he goes to me, I said, I don't even think I'm going to get it now. I don't have 15 minutes. My back's killing me. So I said, I think I'm just going to get a steak. He says, go get a steak. I'll give it to you half off. So now I'm getting like, okay, because I'll cook this. I'll go home and cook the steak, which is what I did. I think it was Friday night. So I go and I get a nice New York strip, $13.99. It's $7. And I also get 3 pounds of hamburger because I see I'm kind of running out and I want to cook hamburgers. So I get that. He gives me half price on both of them. Now, I did not argue to get that. In fact, that was just a whim. Let's get steak. So I did never come up thinking, if I say I want a steak, I'll get it for half off. That never entered my mind. I was just being, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to get a steak instead of the chicken. I'm not going to wait 15 minutes. You're screwing me with $12 for the 4 pieces. So I don't really have anything else to say. And, he says, and then he was the one that said, I'll give it to you for half. And he gave him both, the steak and the hamburger. He gave me half off. It was like the cheapest I've ever been. It was like a $20 thing there. Normally, like the steak would have been $13 by itself and the hamburger would have been $15. And then I got avocados that were cheap and strawberries or something. So I got like 4 or 5 things and it cost me $16, which normally cost me like $35 there. Because I go there for the meat, but the meat's usually a little more expensive. Anyway, but that's what he did. And then I don't know what he ended up saying to the deli. But when I put it in terms of they're fucking you over because you can't sell what he's not cooking, and therefore instead of you getting $7.99 for me getting the 4-piece chicken, what are you doing? You're not doing that. And he's not even cooking it. He wants me to wait 15 minutes. It's insane. So with that said, then he could talk to the guy. I says, he's incompetent. He doesn't understand inventory. You should never be out of the chicken. You got an hour to go. It takes 15 minutes. You should have another 10 pieces going, another 4 wings, 4 legs, maybe 4 thighs. That's what he should be cooking. And then it takes 15 minutes. He should have already been cooking it where it would have taken 5. So anyway, I do that a lot where I talk business with the guy and I say, it's costing you sales. And when I put it on those terms, they can never argue with me and and I usually get some discount. We'll pay for this. We'll pay for that. Again, I'm not trying to get steak half off, but it's the benefit of my logic is so sound. What's he going to do? you're right. He should be cooking more of the chicken, and it shouldn't be taking 15 minutes from when you want it. It should already be cooking, and there maybe should be 2 or 3 minutes left. And then I would have waited for the extra chickens. But even before then, they should have given me the 4 pieces at $7.99, even though 3 of them were breast and 1 was a thigh. That's not my fault. I want a 4-piece, and why would you charge me by the piece? If they wanted to charge me $12 for a $7.99 meal because I was getting breast and thighs. Where does the girl come out thinking that it's her store? Right? You're just a deli clerk. Why do you care if you give me 4 pieces and they're not the 4 because you don't have them? I shouldn't be penalized because you don't have the wing, the leg, the thigh, and the breast. You should still charge me $7.99 for 4 pieces. And a lot of the times they do. I sometimes get 5 pieces. Sometimes I'll get 2 thighs. They don't have a wing. I get 2 thighs. And they don't charge me anymore. And that's what you should do, right? Again, it's customer satisfaction. I'm not trying to rip you off. You only have the 4 pieces left, and those are the 4 you have. So it's not me. You're doing it to yourself because you didn't cook the other pieces, and you don't even have them on the fryer cooking. So anyway, if you can explain things in business terms and how it affects the manager, then there you go. Then you know what to do. So anyway, that's about it. So this is kind of, I'm a little tired. My foot's bothering me. I didn't get a full night's sleep, but I wrote down things to talk about: Europe, gold, China, NFL, and NBA. So I don't use a script, but I know enough to talk. And I watched some YouTubes before, which I've talked about China and Switzerland, and gold is gold. So we'll take one last look at where it is, but we know it's not real. So let's see. But in gold price, so silver's over 2504, and gold is 1982, which again, it doesn't mean anything. So look at gold. Gold goes way up until 10 o'clock, and then it's the 10 o'clock drop. And this time, the 10 o'clock did not bounce back up really. It kind of went down to 1982, and it's 1982 now. So this is what sometimes happens. The 10 o'clock drop, you don't always get that push back up. Very rare. Most of the time you do, but here what you do is you break even and you say, I broke even, right? You give it another hour. It's 2 o'clock, give it to 3. You got to get out before 4, and you just simply let it go. And you just simply say, I didn't make my money today. I'll be back tomorrow for it. And that's how you analyze this gold. But every day at 10 o'clock, it's dropping. So what's next with Jenna from the Ukraine? I don't know. I'm going to leave it in her court. She owes me an apology, which she probably won't do, and then I won't do anything. If she apologizes, I'll feel okay. I'll still help you. This is on her. Will I help her? Do you want to eat or not? And when you eat, it's also dog food. So who the fuck? You don't have money. You don't have money, but you have a dog that you got to get dog food for. Like, what the fuck? Okay, so, whatever. So I'm basically just, leaving it alone. I'm not going to, she owes me an apology for leaving for Saturday and then for leaving early. And until she does that, I'll just ignore it. I'm not going to, hi, how are you today? I love you. You're not getting any of that because I don't. Not the person I met, I don't love. I don't know who that was. It's not the normal person I meet. So you acted like a 10-year-old because your girlfriend was there and you let her control you, with the consequences being you left me alone, which is not really a good thing to do. when I flew all the way from Detroit to Barcelona to be with you, and then you spent no time with me, and then you left early. So really insulted, and she's too stupid to understand that. That's a problem, but she is. She doesn't get that I'm upset that she left early. Like, well, I had to leave early. No, you didn't. Then you shouldn't have scheduled it. That's why you scheduled it, was to meet your friend, and then you had to go, which you knew about, right? That's why you did it, not to see me. That's why I'm pissed, and that's how I break it down. You'd rather be in a war in the Ukraine than in Barcelona on the beach. Oh, okay. I believe you then. I mean, how stupid do you think I am? And that's really the point of it. So I think that's about it. Anything else? Start work Friday. My foot's killing me. I called from my culture scene. I'll go to the Kroger's, which is near the club, and then I'll see if I can swim. I don't know. I can walk okay, but it's a tender thing. So my back went to my foot, and it's fucking unbelievable. I can't get healthy. It's either the back or it's the feet. It goes from one to the other. That's why I think it still has to do with whatchamacallit. What do you call it? I was going to say COVID, but not COVID. Whatever I got in the feet. That's my point. And see, I get worried about, oh, my back really tender. Did I do something? And now it feels fine. So I know, oh, my back's fine. So there's nothing there. There's no tumor. There's no this or that. And then now it feels fine. So now what am I going to the doctor for? And now my foot's bothering me, but I know it's just gout. That's what I was looking at. So I'll go get my gout pills, and hopefully that'll clean everything. I'd like to start my job healthy. I want to go walk the lake and do all that fun stuff, which I can. I can't even try to walk the lake now. I can't do it. Anyway, so we'll keep our eye on Derrick Henry and these Ezekiel Elliott. What teams do they go for? It's hard because they're such poor run organizations and such poorly coached teams. Maybe Denver gets Derrick Henry because it's Sean Payton and he's got Russell Wilson, and they'd be in the Super Bowl with Derrick Henry. So maybe that's what they're thinking is, hey, we can still get him. I don't think he signed with Tennessee. Ezekiel Elliott, I'd rather have Derrick Henry than Ezekiel Elliott for sure. Where's he going to end up? Now, Buffalo should get, if Buffalo wanted to win, they should get Ezekiel Elliott. Kansas City's pretty much set. They added a couple of receivers, I believe. And Cincinnati added a couple of receivers to go with Chase and Burrow. They added a good running back. And they added a bunch of defense. So Cincinnati is right in there in the Super Bowl. I think they're in the championship game, and I think it's going to be with Denver. Howard, why Denver? Because of Sean Payton, and they have Russell Wilson. You have two of the three ingredients. You have the coach, you have the quarterback, and the third is the defense and a balanced offense. So if they have running and receivers, which they do, and Russell Wilson and the coach, now they just need the defense, which they've added some defense to. They're the team. Now, if they can get Kamara in here or Henry or one of those guys, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kamara went if you can, go to Denver to be with Coach Sean. That would be unbelievable. So we will see. But keep your eye on Denver. You got to understand one thing about KC. They won it. They are going to be flat because they won it. So they don't have that. Cincinnati does. Denver's going to. San Diego's going to. So Cincinnati does. Those are the teams that are like, now you have Buffalo and the Jets. So now the Jets don't really have it because they haven't been there to lose. When you're there to lose, then you get that anger like Cincinnati did last year. and Kansas City did the year before when KC lost to Cincinnati. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're mad, and that's exactly what happened. But with what's going on now, Cincinnati has it, but the Jets don't because they really haven't tasted it yet. So I can see the Jets going to the championship game this year, and then maybe next year winning the Super Bowl, provided if they get Derrick Henry or Ezekiel Elliott or, and then you got Aaron Rodgers. So really, they're very close to going to championship game, the Jets. They got an easy division. Miami, New England suck. Buffalo, not as good as they're picking up tight ends. You need defense, man, unless Von Miller is 100% healthy, which I doubt. Even if he comes back, he's not that healthy because he's still hurt his knee. So I look for the Jets to win that division, and then they'll be in the playoffs. And then if they're going to win it all, it'll be next year, not this year. But let him pick up Henry or Elliott, and then with Rodgers, he's got the receivers, he's got the line, and he's got the defense. They'll be right there. They will win the East without a problem. So we'll be betting the Jets a lot. Anyway, I think that's about it. 2 hours. I don't know how off the cuff. I mean, it's not like I plan, right? It's just what comes in. But Jenna, I did want to talk about that. I know it's a little personal, like my personal life, but I don't care. This is a class for everybody. And all these things happen to all of us. So it's a learning experience that you can learn from me. Then that's why I present it in the class. Somebody gets out of line, you've got to say something. And if they don't like what you say and they kind of yell back at you, then it means they're lying. They're having an issue. So that's how I look at it. She needs to understand that I don't accept that. Right. So she's got to understand the first thing is I won't accept that behavior, which I've never seen from her before. Right. And therefore, it's not all right that you left early. It's not all right that you stood me up Saturday. That's not all right. And therefore, you have to know it's not all right. But these situations have never come up before. I've always been happy to see her, and we've always had a good time. And now I don't know who I saw. So if she doesn't want to understand that, and she's just like, oh, I don't care. I got another guy in the Ukraine. Fine, go with him. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. You're wasting my time if that's the situation. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted, but I am not going to chase and I am not going to text. It's up to her to text, and she owes me a couple of apologies. And to get me a $2 fruit for my birthday when I'm giving her $50 for shopping, I don't think is I'm going to go shopping. Can I have some money? Yeah, here's €50. Okay. Now you're saying you don't have money for my birthday? You don't have. I'm not asking for a $100 gift. I'm asking for an apple, an avocado, something that says, happy birthday. I love you. Here's a little gift. That's all that's all I wanted. I'm not saying to spend $500 on it. So anyway, that's what you got. So have a good day. I got to go to Kroger's and get some colchicine in my foot. And I don't know how good I can walk. So I don't know if I'm going to the pool. I hate when I feel like this, when it's hard to walk, and what pisses me off, I've been fine walking since I got home from the trip. I have not had a problem walking. It's been my back. So even then I can't get up, and I got to be careful. And that's what kills me is today it feels fine. My back's 100% fine. And it's my left foot that's really puzzling me. So anyway, have a good day. www.teaserking.com. Buy your gold, buy your silver. First Republic. It's all part of the game to get you scared to, I don't know what. I don't really know the end game. It makes no sense to me. The banks are collapsing. I don't give a fuck because I don't have any money in it. I'm smarter and understanding the situation that you basically don't want your money in the bank, get it out. It's not that hard to figure out. And then put it in the safe and buy gold and silver with it. That's what you do. So we don't care what banks go under. It doesn't matter. We know the money's going under. It doesn't matter. Get out of this into gold and silver. I mean, it's all this is noise, right? Oh, this bank went under, that bank. I don't care. If you don't leave your money in the bank, leave a few grand. So if my bank goes under, I'll lose 2 or 3 grand. And when I start getting big paychecks, I'm not leaving it in there. I'll leave like 2 or 3 grand, and then the rest comes into the safe, and then it'll go into buy more gold and silver. And now I got one less mouth to feed, and Jenna's, what she's doing is terrible. She'll ask for money, and I'm going to say no. You owe me an apology. When you apologize for leaving early, then I'll think about it, and for not coming back to help me on Saturday. You owe me 2 apologies. So when you're ready to do it, I'll help you. Until then, you fuck me over, and I'm not going to help you. That's the difference of an INFJ. You can't fuck me over, and I'm not going to take it. Even though I'm nice, I'm not. So you got to be careful. And that might confuse people. They're going, well, he's always nice. Like, why is he upset now? Well, listen, and I'm explaining, and then you understand. And an easy apology cures everything. But if you're too proud to apologize, then I can't help it. You've got to learn your lesson. That's an INFJ playbook. All right, www.teaserking.com. Have a great day. Good luck. If you need to email me, you'll get the email at www.teaserking.com. And one of the reasons I don't leave comments, because I'm looking at when I see my gold guys and I leave the comments to them, I don't need to say, "Oh, that was a good show. Oh, that was a real good show." Yeah, okay. I in my own eyes, I believe it was a good show. Even this one, it was kind of not a lot of real direct stuff, and a lot on my girlfriend and a lot on the grocery store. Still was very educational. So I believe in my mind it was a good show. I don't need you to say good show, and I certainly don't hold you either. Put it in the comment section here, or you email me saying, hey, this, and this. But it's my class, so I'm going to do what I feel is best, what will teach you. And right now it's buy gold and buy silver. So, all right, have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Thank you.